Here we go. Week 7. I'm really proud with the Fantasy League, by the way, especially with the fact that we have not suffered any technical Sorry, I said we've not suffered any technical... I give up, let's move on. Hello everyone. Fantasy League time. Let's look at week 7 of the LEC. But to refresh ourselves, how's the leaderboard for week 6 so far? Well, 53 points between first and worst. So, it's anyone's game still, mathematically. So, let's move on to the predictions for the week and see how they all stand up. So, we go with D first. Couple of sweeps for the Mad versus Schalke match and Astralis versus Misfits. Has picked Rogue to beat G2 in the unofficial match of the week. For Darius and Duncan, their predictions are a hodgepodge of results everywhere. Darius also went with the sweeps in the first 2 games, and both of them keeping the faith with Excel. Martin and me also keeping some sort of faith with Excel, though not against Fnatic. We think it's their game. And then finally, Stefan and Terry. Terry doing his predictions in lowercase this week because he felt like it. And Steph still sticking with sweeps everywhere. It's worked for him so far, it'll continue to work for him. So anyway, let's move on to the rundown. Right, Friday, game 1. Mad Lions versus Schalke 04. First blood goes to Schalke, who are in severe need of a win after their losing streak. Dragon ended up with Mad Lions, just during a replay. Herald also went to Mad Lions while bottom lane was having a bit of a to-do. And Herald was used to take the first top lane turret. Mad Lions also went and proceeded to take the Baron, and if there were any shocks, it didn't happen here. The losing streak continues and Mad Lions got themselves another win towards playoffs. Game 2, Astralis and Misfits. Astralis required a miracle to get through to playoffs. Misfits just needed wins and objectives. Help get wins. So they were doing it pretty cleanly. Getting everything they needed. Everything they needed. So, it was nice for them. And this one just wasn't going any other way, to be fair. Misfits win. Astralis in big trouble. Game 3. The unofficial match of the week, G2 versus Rogue, and quite quickly you could see why it was the unofficial match of the week, because this was not the match of the week in the first half of the split. First blood went to G2, Herald went to G2 cleanly. Dragon ended up Rogue's way, even though they were 3 kills down and not much else going on. Though, Tower went to G2. Rogue also got a kill at that point. Baron also went to G2. This was just a shutout, really. Rogue outplayed, outmaneuvered. Maybe playoffs time they'll improve there. Won a best of 5. Right, game 4, SK versus Vitality. First blood went the way of SK's rookie-ish team. First Dragon went the other way. It went to Vitality, and so did the Herald. Just while lane protection was going on. Lane protection are us. Tower went that way while SK tried to get the second Herald. But Baron went and got picked up by Vitality. Now is the time they started making plays for wins. They just want to prove to be competitive, and they showed it here. Their win. XL versus Fnatic was the last game of the Friday. First Blood ended up to XL in another one of those strong starts that they usually do well with. And then Fnatic just turned up. Herald, Dragon, objectives. Kills were even at this point, which was great. And here comes that tower, but it's the next bit that comes up. The bit that makes everything really fun. Fnatic ended up with the Baron while XL summoned a Rift Herald, and here we go. Base race, base race, base race, base race. Yeah, classic. XL, knowing that they were going to lose otherwise, went for a rush for the base. So did Fnatic, but a Gangplank ultimate got rid of all the minions that were heading towards Red Team Tower, and it just meant that XL lost all their momentum, ended up with a late defense, but lost. It wasn't bad though. We move on to Saturday though. Game 1 was Schalke versus Astralis. Now, both of them were doing not great on the matches, so something had to give. First Blood went to Astralis, as did the first Dragon during this replay. Herald did go to Schalke, so everything was starting to even out a little bit, and they were up on kills at that point. The first tower did go to Astralis. Off screen, had to use a replay for that, but Baron ended up with Schalke, and the loss streak stopped. They won that game in a pretty big bloodbath as well. Game 2 is Vitality versus XL. Could XL recover from their loss streak in the same way that Schalke did? Not here, it didn't. Top lane dive led to a Vitality first blood. Herald also went their way. But Dragon got taken while Herald was just taking chunks out of a top lane tower. And the first tower though did go to Vitality, as did Baron, and again XL having trouble. Vitality starting a win streak. A little one, but a win streak nonetheless. Okay, game 3, Fnatic versus SK. Can it get any better for Fnatic after their rough start of the split? Well, after the first blood chaos at the bottom tower, yes it could. SK retaliated by taking Infernal Drake away from no one, while Herald was picked up by the blue team, and then promptly used on the bottom tower. But Baron was also taken by Fnatic in a nearly steal, and the win a few minutes later. Now we move to game 4, and it's G2 versus Misfits. Misfits on a roll. G2, well, they're G2, so what would happen here? Well, First Blood just about went to Misfits. Herald also went their way, just and confirmed. And then Tower, bottom one of G2's, was also taken. And then finally, Dragon was taken by G2. And then G2 did G2 things. During this team fight at mid replay, Baron was taken, and then anticlimactic, it ended G2's way. Last game of the week, and the actual game of the week, Rogue versus Mad Lions, and Rogue struggled initially, early on. Mad Lions were just on a tear, all over the place, taking objectives, first blood, first dragon, everything fine there. And then Herald ended up Rogue's way, just while chaos was happening in mid, but top tower was taken using said Herald, and at this point Rogue were in the lead even though they were 3 kills down, and then just started catching up. They got that Baron, and then eventually got that win, and ended up quite far up. Fountain Death to finish the game. So, let's look at the standings. So for the week, Dee and Steph tied at first place, Darius and Martin tied at third, and then everyone else. And as for the total leaderboard, the gap widens to 57 points from first to worst. But the last week is the Super Week. 90 points up for grabs. Anyone can go through, anyone can go out. Let's just see how our predictions fall. So then, we'll see you next week. Bye!